Hey there, everybody. I just wanted to take a few minutes and share my thoughts about what's going on. I'm getting a lot of emails and Facebook messages asking my 2 cents about what's happening in the world with the virus and, uh, just everything, the political upheaval that's going on. It's almost like we've forgotten about climate change and that was a big concern for us a few months ago, the financial discord that's happening. So there's so much going on in the world. And yeah, people have been asking and I want to share my thoughts about it. So first of all, I love thinking about our lives in terms of evolution of humanity, conscious evolution. And that's one of the things that I want to preface first is we are going through a time of rapid and unprecedented change. And I know a lot of people are feeling whatever, an array of feelings, right? About what's going on. Some people are like, oh no, it's fine. I'm feeling really calm about this. That's awesome. And then other people are feeling a sense of angst. And the word that I'm using really is upheaval. It's not really panic. It's not really crisis, but it's upheaval. I'm live here on a college campus and I'm watching all of the students, both in the college dorms and in the high school dorms, packing up their rooms and saying goodbye to friends and just leaving their dormitories in tears. My son yesterday found out that his school is closing and he's just beside himself that he's not going to see his friends. And so that kind of upheaval, like the way that life has been. I mean, I love to teach, and some of my programs are being either postponed or put online, and so it's just a time of upheaval. The life as we've known it is changing, and it's changing rapidly. So there's a anthropologist and philosopher that I love, 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 love. Many of you will know her, Dr. Jean Houston. She talks about evolution in terms of what we call jump time, where there are these times that things are just the same, the same, the same, and then whoop, there's this massive change in how life occurs on Earth. Like the Ice Age was one of those times that the natural world really had an upheaval. So that's one of the things I think about. And jump time isn't like 6 months, it isn't like a year, it's an epoch of change. And, certainly since the advent of the internet and the technological revolution, technological era, that's a lot of what we've been going through as humanity is just this incredibly rapid pace of change. And it's not done. We're not done. Human evolution or evolution of the species, of life itself, is occurring. So my quest for you and for myself, of course, is, are we evolving consciously? That's our task, conscious evolution. So now going back to, kind of the current circumstance, and maybe your job has been disrupted, your travel has been disrupted, perhaps you are sick or family members are sick with the virus. I guess what I want to leave or begin this talk with is, are you evolving and going through that experience consciously? Meaning, are you choosing and defining for yourself how you are going to experience this time of upheaval? Alice Walker, one of my favorite quotes, Alice Walker says something like, what is it? That most people give away their power by basically saying they don't have any. One of the ways, the most common ways that people give up their own power is by saying they don't have any, or thinking they don't have any, or something like that. Anyway, you get the point. So going through this time of upheaval, I'm guessing that many of you are going to be sequestered and staying at home and not the social distancing that we're being told to do. So my question for you and for conscious evolution is, how are you going to experience that? How are you going to experience this time? I think about, it's interesting, right? A pandemic, a global virus that's affecting the human species. And when I think about that from a spiritual perspective, I think about the soul of humanity needs some healing. The human body, if you will, is in a time of needing healing and going within. The virus is within us. So yes, this is a physical virus, but I also believe that all things get healed in consciousness. So one of the ways that you can heal yourself or consciously evolve through this process is by claiming your own power, not recognizing that you don't have any. No, I get it. Like, okay, maybe your job is being disrupted and you didn't want that. Nowhere on my vision board ever, ever, ever have I put like sequester myself because of a global pandemic like that. That's never been part of my life intention. But here it is. And inside of this, we still have power. You still have power. So how are you going to empower yourself through this time of global upheaval? So one of the things I'm doing, and I invite you to join me in this, is I'm deciding in advance how I want to go through this period of being sequestered. So my son's school is closed. A lot of my events are canceled. We've had trips planned that we're not going to be doing. So we're going to be home. My spouse will be at her office probably for another week or so, and then that she will probably be working remotely as well. So here we are. We're going to be at home together, and I'm sure that's the case for many of you. So here's what I'm doing, and I hope you'll join me. I'm deciding in advance how I want this to be. This morning, I came up with a list of projects that I know I want to accomplish when I'm going to have some more time at home. I'm double down on my physical care and well-being, coming up with, we're doing CrossFit now as a family. So doing CrossFit workouts here at home as a family and designing them, taking turns who gets to design the CrossFit exercises that we'll be doing. So, and then, really thinking proactively. What's called for here is for you to decide that you're going to respond rather than just react. Being reactive is not what's called for in a time like this, but responding consciously to it. And one of the last things I want to say about how you can respond to it in a more proactive, powerful way is really doubling down on and intensifying your self-care practices, including prayer, meditation, affirmations, reading spiritual material, watching uplifting videos, things that are really going to care for your soul. Because I really believe that as without, so within, we're experiencing a global illness, and that illness is also a reflection of our consciousness. So let me see. Oh, another thing I wanted to say. Yeah. Good. I just made some notes before I got on with you all. So another thing I want to say about this is that you're going through whatever emotional feelings you're going through. And I know that those of us who are, part of the vibe tribe or high consciousness, committed to high consciousness life, sometimes like, oh, you don't have that negative thought, don't have that negative feeling. And what I want to say is feel whatever you're feeling. If you're worried, be worried and let it pass through you. If you're anxious, be anxious. If you're uncertain, be uncertain, and just let it pass through you. Don't deny the emotional states that you're in. Just embrace them and have them. It's okay to experience those emotions. And in fact, this is a time to heighten your compassion. If you can't reach out and hug with your hands, hold each other in your heart. This is a time for that. Science shows that elevation of compassion actually enhances your immune system. So be compassionate, be loving toward yourself and toward other people as we go through this. And expanding that compassion will help heal the soul of humanity, which I think is part of what we're going through. And then last thing I want to say is that even in the midst of this, look around. How lucky we are to be alive right now. It's a line from the Hamilton musical. And when I say how lucky we are to be alive right now, no matter what we're going through, look to see that life itself is still evolving. Life itself is still beautiful. You are not just your human personality and ego. You are a microcosm of life, of the expansiveness of life. And life itself is beautiful. With all of its uncertainty, all of its upheaval, all of its turmoil, all of its emotion, life itself is beautiful and magical. We have that. We have one another, that grounding in knowing that life is evolving exactly as it should. Even when it's scary and uncertain, we have each other. So I hope that you guys take a little bit of some comfort and support from what I've shared here. Feel free to email me or send me Facebook messages. I'm definitely here and want to support all of us in what we're going through. I think the more we can have this experience of conscious evolution, raising our vibration even in the face of uncertainty, and that does not mean denying any sense of angst or fear, upset that you're having. If you're having it, have it. It's okay. Just don't let it have you. And let's stand in that place of knowing that we've got everything that it takes to get through this with love, with clarity, with certainty, knowing that life is still beautiful and magical. I hope to see you and hear from you soon. Bye-bye.